This UFL Week 3 Picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play their fantasy pick 'em for a chance to win 100x in NBA, golf, MLB, NHL, and more. Sign up today using promo code SGPN to get a 100% deposit match. We're also brought to you by the premier arbitrage sports betting tool, Avo. Use their tool to bet both sides and lock in a profit. Access their platform for free at arbsversusodds.com. That's ARBSVSodds.com. Plus, in honor of Masters Week, the Golf Gambling Podcast guys are giving away a TAYLORMADE Spider X putter for free. Enter at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/masters.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Ciao. I mean, Sean, what are we doing here? Look at me. First of all, I got the throwback XFL Gambling Podcast T-shirt. Shout out to my Sea Dragon.
The Vipers. I remember liking the Vipers.
I was a Sea Dragon, man.
Yeah, they were looking pretty good. Then
but
that
then Danucci and everyone eats.
Wuhan flu wiped out the league. Kramer is rocking. If you're wondering what that Italian seaman on Kramer's chest is, it's him rocking the Milano Seamen jacket. Shout out to Ryan's new favorite Italian football Americano team. Of course, they just brought in legendary coach Jon Gruden.
Long Cox.
And what perfect pairing. Ryan got a Milano Seamen jacket. If you're watching on YouTube,
he looks so happy.
Oh, he's ready to set anchor and just tear up the Italian coastline. Talking Milano football. So yeah, Gruden
Those queers over in Italy. No, not over email, John. Not over email.
He looks super excited. And Ryan also now has a Seaman scarf.
Oh yeah,
hanging in his locker.
I don't know how. Oh, look at this thing. I mean, it's like one of those soccer scarves because they're European and that's how they celebrate their teams. Because it's cold, they always need a scarf. At Gambling Podcast, Sean did some great photography earlier. I will say I look very European in the picture. It look very European.
It's got the AirPod in. Ryan is turning into a millennial with like leaving in the AirPod at all times.
Just always doing business.
Just having always working on his horse with Bowser on the photo finish live. So more of that coming. I'm sure.
I did have to show the wife a real. I showed her a sale of $25,000 American dollars. Just to reinforce the amount of money I've dumped into this digital horse racing game. Again, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. A lot to figure out. We are talking UFL Picks. And before we get to that, of course, shout out to Underdog Fantasy. Use that promo code SGPN. Get the 100% deposit match. UFL, you can do UFL pick'em entries, and I know Sebastian, shout out to the Degen Jock, J Mark Football, giving out some plays. Colby's too much of a rock star to give out UFL pick'em entries, but underdogfantasy.com promo code SGPN, get the 100% deposit match. Those lines will be popping a little bit later, so tune in to social media. This weekend we got some plays for you over on Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN, and make sure you get some Masters pick'em entries in as well. Kramer and I talk some Masters pick'em with Steve Shermer, Golf Gambling Podcast, Boston Capper, a lot of fun.
Can I recommend something for you?
Sure.
There's still some time. I know you're probably going to be sitting watching some mindless television later. They have a majors only golf best ball.
Ooh,
I did fire off one. While I did the what you're not supposed to do, which is draft on the shitter. So I did fire off some PGA best ball. Worth playing. I would say. I think in some ways I feel like it's less. I felt like I have a better chance winning one of those than a DraftKings style.
And NASCAR Gambling Podcast, I'm guessing that's Cody saying Taylor Gray better than 10.5 finish in the Saturday Xfinity race. So again, so many. We got a whole network of pickup. It's great.
Is that a digital horse race or
no? That's an actual race with an actual motor vehicle.
Oh wow!
Joining us on the line, you know him from the College Football Experience, the UFL Gambling Podcast. Pick Dundee, aka Colby Dant. What's happening, Colby?
I'm just doing a deep dive on Italian football right now. I watched the ELF, so I knew the Seamen were in the ELF last year. But what I didn't know is this Italian football league has been rocking for a long time. They have the Spaghetti Bowl.
Really?
Yeah, it was played in Florence, Italy on January 1st, 1945. This is like the flying spaghetti monster over here.
You're just being racist.
Let me.
No way. They have a spaghetti bowl. That's just you're making some Italian.
No. There used to be the Spaghetti Bowl. It's not because they're in the ELF now. But man, how did we miss out on the Spaghetti Bowl? I'm gonna send you a link. We're gonna have to do a deep dive on the Spaghetti Bowl.
Colby, add that to the future topics for the More Questions Than Answers podcast. Coming soon.
The Lisp Gambling Podcast that you guys are working on.
Just sipping that beautiful whiskey you guys gave me for Christmas. $5.65.
Yeah, we're here talking UFL. A lot of news to get to. Well, even a little, even while we're talking professional football, a little National Football League news. We got a bonus edition of Real Men of Degen.
SGPN presents Real Men of Degen. Real Men of Degen. We salute you.
Terrell Suggs, who allegedly brandished a gun and threatened to kill man at Starbucks, officials say. It's a quiet area of Scottsdale in the middle of the day. This is Starbucks drive-through, my home. Now he claims he was threatened by this other guy, but who's threatening Terrell Suggs at a Starbucks? I don't know. According to the documents filed, the man swore at Suggs before the ex-NFL superstar challenged him to a fight. The former Baltimore Ravens pass rusher allegedly then called the man a pussy ass cracker before adding, "I'll kill your bitch ass."
Why? I mean,
Real Men of Degen, Terrell Suggs. I gotta know what Terrell Suggs. Now, apparently, what happened was it was at the Starbucks drive-thru. He drove past the speaker, and then he backed up to get his order in and bumped into the guy behind him. And then I guess that's where the altercation started. I guess I'm kind of skeptical that someone would look at Terrell Suggs and threaten him. I don't really. I mean, imagine how terrifying you get in a little Starbucks drive-thru. A bumper car action and Terrell Suggs comes out.
I think the internet is littered with videos of people who fuck around and find out all the time now. This is a post-pandemic behavioral pattern where now all of a sudden we forget sometimes that the giant man in the car in front of you might actually get out. I mean, I watched a white man wearing some sort of like packing backpack on his, nice mountain bike, sitting next to a protest, clearly chirping off, and the protesters decide to stop and kick his ass. And it's just like, like he's basically wearing some Birkenstock. It's a bad look for white people too, because most of the time it is.
Well, that's what happens when you have too many laws, right?
Well, I mean,
you think the law's on your side, but you forget a law is a made up thing. You know what I mean?
You say that, but I understand what laws are. I also understand that in a situation, if I ran my mouth to 6'4" Terrell Suggs, who, let's just say I don't
didn't realize Terrell Suggs was driving.
Let's just say I don't stereotype him at all. The second he steps up out of the car,
large gentleman.
I'm not doing anything more for him to then escalate and call me a what type of cracker?
Pussy ass bitch cracker.
Pussy ass bitch cracker.
Well, I think you're misunderstanding. I'm saying the laws. The guy probably thought he won't do anything to me. I have the law on my side, and you just got a classic lesson of the law does not save your ass when
I get that.
Terrell Suggs, he writes his own laws out there on the
amen, as he should.
I want to know what Terrell Suggs' order was. Like if it was a really girly order, like a lavender oat milk latte or something, that would be amazing. We're imagining him sipping that and then threatening to kill someone is just a hilarious.
It was a honey vanilla matcha latte.
There's a movie. There's a movie that came out in the early 90s called Stone Cold with Brian Bosworth. And the opening scene is he like goes into a liquor store that gets held up and he just fucks them all up. That's what I picture when I picture Terrell Suggs, essentially at Starbucks calling people crackers. And I find it hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm shocked when I see these videos of people that have no clue their ass is about to get it handed to them. It's out of control. It's basic human instinct. This is Darwinism, where we've gotten to a point where we just have to push a number of people off the cliff.
Yeah, I'm not pushing Terrell Suggs off the cliff. I don't got that kind of leverage. Low man wins.
You don't have
Terrell
to
Suggs.
push him off you just have to not be the guy that he pushes off the cliff.
Yeah, I guess that's the key.
You got to look at it that way.
Lot of UFL news to get to. I see the chat. Alex Rezzi saying, "Hell yeah, can you guys break down the futures market?" Yeah, we should talk futures there.
We should start with that
after I think we. Well, then we give away our picks if we're chiming in on the futures market.
That's fair.
Yeah, we'll recap it at the end. Talk a little futures.
Roughnecks 22-1.
And now Ryan, I don't know if you've heard a source close to me DM me saying that they're actually considering switching the kickoff rules to the NFL rules because of the kicker destroying. Him as his YouTube handle was injured on a kickoff. We had been advocates for kickoff, but unfortunately player safety is the most important thing. Colby, I assume you're on board with changing the kickoff rule because destroying got hurt. How hilarious is it that the kicker gets injured for the Brahmas, right?
I mean, he tackled like a fucking idiot. So I mean,
he did. He lowered it. He basically led with his helmet and just messed his neck up.
It was a
Darwinism. Back to your Darwinism. Look. I've been arguing with people for a while, so I mean, I'm ready to go. We could do this. What do we want? My thing is, if we're gonna do this, then everyone's got to wear visors during the coin toss because the coin could hit you in the eye and cause damage.
Oh wow! All right, so he was ready for this. He brought a defense. I would say this is a great coaching moment. This was like literally to a T. When I watched the play happen, it's like, well, this is exactly what they should show people how not to tackle. And again, I played rugby. We had this South African dude, and you learned how to tackle by trying to first getting tackled by him and then trying to tackle him. And the first kid dropped his head in the same way, and he put his knee. So it was like a Steven Seagal or Patrick Swayze Roadhouse knee right through the fucking gullet. And I'll never forget that. That's, you just don't tackle that way. But and for a guy with this kind of following on YouTube, honestly, he comes off as a guy who thinks he's fucking tough. I didn't even honestly, he spoke. I had come across his videos before, did not know what position he played, assumed it was cornerback, maybe receiver. I don't know. He stopped growing to find out he was a kicker with the way he acts. This is basically, he's Black Pat McAfee.
Well,
and he should honestly, if you follow him, you should think about it after the way he got punked like that. That's pretty embarrassing for your brand.
I mean, if he really wants to step up, though, this is going to be the best thing that ever happened for him because this is adversity, and adversity teaches you in life, the best things. So injuries actually lead to, I would say it's a positive.
Oh, dude, I listen, as someone who would have been a kicker, you're a kicker. You don't matter. No one gives a shit about your redemption story.
It's like quarterbacks.
Tell that to the Michigan Panthers. Their quarterback's the best player on that offense. Only one getting
their kicker. Their kicker.
Yeah, the quarterback sucks.
Yeah, quarterback's actually their worst player on their offense.
Oh yeah, 100%. Did I say quarterback?
Yeah.
You did. You did.
No, I said
You were thinking about. You were probably thinking about quarterbacks. Maybe Drake May.
I mean, let's take a look before we get to the picks. Let's take a look at our overall pick record. Colby 10-5-1 ATS sides and
good.
totals.
That's pretty good, Colby. Nice job so far.
1-0-1 on the locks.
Well, we don't need to talk about locks. Right?
13. I am 13-2-1 sides and totals. 2-0, 100% on my locks.
Yeah, not surprising.
Kramer 14, an amazing 14-1-1, 93%, 1-0-1 on your locks. So unfortunately, one of your non-wins was a push there in week 2.
Would like to say I've not, and I did have. I first said Memphis was the lock. I should have stuck with the spread.
Yeah,
but 7-0-1 on the sides.
7-0-1. Yeah, crazy.
I have not gotten a side wrong, so
I've only gotten one side wrong. And we'll talk futures later, but the Brahmas pulling out that crazy. It was best case scenario for me because I'm sitting on the Brahmas 14-1 to win it all. Memphis +2 was my lock. I mean, what a crazy ending to that game. If you didn't see it, Brahmas really kind of had no business, but I mean, Memphis really fumbled the bag, and then Brahmas. One of the exciting new rules in UFL, everyone's enjoying the 12-yard 4th and 12 instead of the onside kick. They convert that. They drive all the way down. They get the touchdown. There's a penalty. They don't get the 2, and then they win by exactly 1, and it keeps the under 40.5.
We have you, me, Sean, Colby, and CJ. We have a group chat, and from that morning, I just write, what a cover with a lot of exclamation points. This league is hilarious. That was a 3K kneel down for me. Huge. And then I thank the place that I made the bets at for not putting the money line up early in the week. I mean, that was an unbelievable game. That if that's not spring football, the thing on the records page that you might want to mention.
Well,
the
what
Discord?
Is that? Oh, Discord is 0-6. So if you have faded our consensus play, you're 0-6 ATS. Shout out to Stefan Cunningham in the chat. I got a $50 bonus bet that I'm using on UFL this weekend. I'm 6-0-1 following your guys' picks. Thanks in advance. Yeah, we are locked and loaded on UFL. Colby, any big thoughts? Any takeaways from UFL week 2?
Yeah, I thought that game was the worst one.
Why was it bad? I mean, the ending was exciting.
I don't like football like that,
nice.
Man.
I can't have anything nice.
I thought that game was cheap to me. Like they get him a first down on a tackle. You know, they throw it to the wide receiver bottom of the screen, and they call a rough. I mean, like launching, I guess, and that extends him to the 2-yard line. Then. To me, like I have a lot of problems with the league replay system. Like what Fox does a great job to me of replaying every game, every play. It seems like, whereas like on ESPN, it's random. Like, I went frame by frame, and actually, let me pull this up if I can right now. But it just doesn't make any sense to me how you don't look. Okay, they have that thing. They have that thing for the
what are we talking
for
about?
the inside the ball, right?
The chip.
There was a 4th and 12. There was a 4th and 12, and the camera work is late. I think he gets 11.5 yards, but he might have got the first down if the camera was accurate. But they don't show us the thing in the ball, which is the most important thing to see at the most pivotal play on a stupid rule. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that game was bullshit. Like, I mean, look, Memphis deserves some, ridicule because they're stupid. Kicking a field goal up 13-0 from the 2-yard line. These, I don't even think it's a college thing or an NFL thing. Like, you need to think of this completely different than any other logic of football. When you have 9-point plays and you have 4th and 12s, 13-0 and you kick a field goal doesn't make any fucking sense. But at the same time, how do you not review that? And why don't they show us the ball? Like on a 4th and 1, they always show us the meter in the ball where you can tell they didn't do either. They didn't look at the most important play of the game, which it just screamed kind of fake to me. It just screamed like a fake game to me. You add that with the tackle.
Yeah. I got to be honest. My big takeaway, and kind of looking ahead, Memphis is going to be the most underrated team in the league after this week.
Yeah. Electric gambling moment. And a bunch of them, a lot. I mean, all these, I mean, of course the Houston DC game, we picked it at 5. That ended up being a push. Colby and I had the Panthers.
But for there to be
they lost by 7. It was 6.5. Arlington was +5. That game was back and forth. And like every one of these games came down to the kind of towards the end of the games with the spread. So at least gambling wise, it's been pretty
plus
exciting.
1.5, +2. You talked about the total for them to get in the end zone. It's like, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever. And then the penalty on the 2-point try that then turns into a kneel down. And it's like, oh my God, we're back. This is an amazing cover. This is one that you'll remember for the rest of your life because it's so freaking improbable. And then I'm walking around my house doing like celebrating. And then I come back out and they want to try to run a little lateral play. We're going to get the fumble Rooski
I know.
play.
I thought it was going to happen then, that there was going to be some crazy lateral.
But yeah, I mean that I would say, those parlays I got kicked in the nuts pretty hard with an NFL season. That was an all
makeup.
That UFL gambling rush was better than anything I got in March Madness this year. Anything I got in March.
I just think though that, like, to me, when you watch a football game, you want to see the more dominant team win, right?
I don't know about that.
But they choked. They choked.
No, they choked, but those rules are whack, dude. Like getting a fourth and 12, sure. Like it's just a gimmick. It's a gimmick shit to get like the lay loser to watch. And it's like dude, they had 8 yards at halftime.
Yeah, but
they had no business winning that game. They had no business winning that game. And
isn't that the point of the UFL, that like literally any one of these teams can win any one of these games?
Well, I think long term that fucks your league up though, because long term
lose the game. The rules didn't lose the game. They still choked this.
I disagree. I strongly disagree. I strongly disagree.
You got to get, if you're Memphis, you got to get a stop there on one of those 2 last drives.
I agree,
dude.
Stop them.
I mean, the rule is dumb,
when you add in the penalty, they did get a stop. Like,
no, I agree. The refs were terrorists at times, but the rules weren't the rules.
No, but they were clearly like.
And shout out to San Antonio, they got it done.
I would say in any of these spring leagues, that was one of the more dominating performances I've ever seen in the past 3 years of spring football.
But they didn't win the game. You can't.
No, there's been some crazy blowouts.
No, there's only been like 1 or 2. There's like the Memphis Birmingham game last year was like 45-2 or something.
But Colby,
yeah.
Sometimes you don't. What is it? You don't look a gift horse in the mouth because you wouldn't want to give commentary on the quality of the teeth.
But Kramer officially changed Colby's record. Give him one more loss. He's gonna take the L in protest.
Well, let me explain why that sucks. Is because you're gonna end up putting a shittier team further along, and they're gonna play a better team, and then it's gonna be a worse game in the playoffs.
Right,
Memphis was the better team.
Let's just listen. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna lay out
8 teams.
Listen, as a UFL sharp, I'm going to lay out the case why this is great for us sharps. Memphis is now undervalued, but we're not going to see it right away. Any donkey can understand a bounce back spot, but they got Birmingham on deck. And Birmingham is a little too buttoned up to be that bounce back spot.
I don't know about that,
we'll get to it in a bit.
I don't know
a big
about
number.
that. Case Kukas is looking pretty good. Birmingham didn't look that great.
After they lose to Birmingham,
Panthers were in that game the entire time. They were driving down.
That was a road game. They're already 750 on the futures market. This Memphis team could be an absolute value. And Colby, it's the top 2 teams in the division. It's not like Houston or who's the other team in their division? There's so many teams I'm forgetting. Michigan. It's not like Houston or Michigan are scaring anybody. So
I think Michigan is the second best team in this league.
Oh boy.
But they have no offense.
They have a negative point.
They have the best kicker. They don't need offense. You get a return, you kick a field goal. Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I don't know. I watched the end of that game. It felt like they needed some offense.
Is Colby doing a bit right now?
No, I mean,
they have the best defense in the league, and then when you add in that kicker, I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
Well, they need to be able to move the ball somewhat offensively.
They average 5.1 yards a rush against not Birmingham.
Small sample size. This week will tell us a lot. Should we start picking some games?
We should. And of course, we are brought to you by Avo. That's right. Shout out to Avo, the premier sports betting arbitrage tool. Again, if you're new to arbitrage, very simple. It's betting both sides of the same bet. So, hey, maybe you got Michigan Panthers plus 6.5 in one book, and then you got the old Birmingham Stallions -4 in another book, or the different juice back and forth, whatever it is. Avo scans the sports books looking for discrepancies in the odds, and then tells you how much money you need to place with each sports book and the expected profit. Very simple system. Again, it's super fast too, which again, if you're getting down on these arbitrage opportunities, you need to strike while the iron is hot. Beat out the competition. Best part is Avo is currently free to use without restriction. So completely free. Get started today at arbs-odds.com. Arbs, ARBS versus VS odds.com today. Check it out.
Dun, dun, dun.
Kramer, what's the first game?
Sorry, I was checking out. I was looking for some arbitrage opportunities.
Woo, ain't smoking my weed.
What do we got here?
I was leveling between the levels. 10 a.m. All right, so we're testing out a new time slot here, Sean. Not 9 a.m. on Saturday, 10 a.m. on Saturday.
Okay.
I think you're probably just competing with maybe baseball and Premier League. DC Defenders.
Well, there is this golf tournament.
Oh, the Masters is this. Fuck. And
Masters is
why
going
would
on.
you go for night games when you know the golf's going on during the morning on the East Coast?
And make sure to sign up for sportsgamblingpodcast.com/masters, giving away a TaylorMade Spider X putter. Enter for free. You have until the Masters are over. Colby, I know you'll be watching both screens, right? Masters and UFL.
Masters of the Universe, maybe.
Oh, you're not a golf guy?
I like sports, guys.
Golf is a sport.
Colby hates golf.
So is Jenga. And if you're gonna say that,
well, I'd respect the top Jenga play. You think there's a Scotty Scheffler of Jenga?
Tiger Woods at Jenga, cleaned up, man. Look out.
I can see it.
Diner waitresses never saw it coming.
DC Defenders. I think I don't know. My thoughts on DC are I don't know. I don't know if they're the same team they were last year. They're heading now on the road to Arlington. Renegades home dogs here, +1.5, +105 on the money line, -125 for the Defenders. 43.5 is the total. I should check because these odds change hot and heavy. Nope, looks good. Arlington certainly were in the game against the Battlehawks the entire time. They appear, as Colby kind of highlighted in the handicap last week, they appear to be a well-coached team. And at some point,
let's talk about that.
Well,
how about Tony Meatball not going for that fourth and like literally a half an inch?
I don't. It is the thing that bugs me the most about spring football. The insanely conservative.
Well, it's only the coaches that aren't qualified, in my opinion. Like you don't see Skip Holtz do that. You know what I mean? Like it's like what I said on last week's show, I think was perfect. I was like, you want to take a guy that's gonna, and he should have lost the game because Perez, when he got blitzed on that third down before they missed that field goal, that ball was money to that wideout. He just dropped it. So they should have lost the game outright based on that terrible coaching by Tony Beck. But you know, it gets lost in the missed field goal. And hey,
Tony Meatballs is a great name. I think I might have to say Jordan Tamu might be. I don't want to say auto fade, but I think auto fade road favorite. Jordan Tamu overrated.
Yeah, I don't think
I was so pissed the entire game watching DC that I locked them up. It was just like, what am I doing? It's a fucking donkey move. This guy, I know this guy's overrated. I agree with J Mark. I don't know why everyone sees him as a sexy quarterback.
And they were a team that we were projecting maybe to have some home field advantage. So the fact that the Roughnecks came in there, hung around the entire game, and you look at Arlington, probably underrated by the market. They went at St. Louis, which is kind of a tough spot, at least by some accounts. We know they don't actually sell out the top part of the bowl, but and then they had to play the Stallions.
Yeah.
So kind of two tough spots for Arlington. I don't think Arlington's great, but I think them as a home dog is pretty interesting. And what's their weakness? Their weakness is allowing the other teams to run it down their throat. DC is not that team. So I think this, DC is averaging 62.5 rush yards a game
in 2 games.
I don't think I'm worried about that. I think this is a good spot for Arlington.
DC has gotten away from what's worked in their offense in 2 games in a row. Strange. Both times, and it's got to have something to do with the quarterback. I just can't. I'm done with this guy. I'm out on this guy. Well, where does Arlington fit in your home field edge, Colby?
Yeah,
not that
not there, but I do think they're better than. Like I think that when they play St. Louis again, if they play St. Louis again in Arlington, they'll beat them. Kind of felt like that was like a 50-50 game. And then I think they're better than their record. Like I think I would take them. I think they're actually better than San Antonio, who's 2-0.
Their future price is 10-1 right now.
Interesting.
If there's anyone that seems to be a buy this week, certainly very interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, in DC, I'm not going to throw all of it on Tomo. I just think there's no one good on like their offensive line. One thing that I've noticed,
dude. He sucks.
One thing I've noticed is continuity at the offensive line. Like Birmingham's got their entire offensive line back. DC has nobody from a year ago, and it clearly shows. Their run game shit. Obviously, their star running backs out for the year before the season ever started, and that offense has they had 2 receivers last year that were pretty good that went to the NFL. They don't have anyone explosive on that team, so it looked. It's some of that is Tamu, but some of it is also that he's getting fucked up. They're not good at all, really. Arlington's gonna fuck them up, I think.
Yeah, I think so and look, I think the value on these futures, and we'll talk about it at the end of the show, but some of these teams that are in quote unquote last place, you're 0-2, but really you're only a game back from getting into the playoffs, and then once you get in the playoffs, who knows? So Arlington future could be interesting there at 10-1, but I think certainly as a home dog, Renegades mount up +1.5. Kramer, are you on them?
Yes, 100%. That means lock potential. And quick update: my limits have been chopped back in half.
Oh, really?
500 on sides and 250 on totals.
What about the side? Total sitting at 43.5. Are we going to continue with the auto unders, Ryan?
I don't know. I want to hear Colby's take on this because he's been anti our under strategy.
Yeah, I mean, you guys got a little lucky on 2 of those. We probably should have the same record. But I don't think I've gotten an under wrong on the ones that I've said are unders. Right?
This is an under game. Right?
This is an under game because I don't think DC's offense can score. I think Arlington might be able to put up some points, but Greg Williams is good at adjustments. You saw it in the first game against San Antonio. They scored 0 in the second half.
I just think, especially we've seen DC like get out of their own stuff without being forced to. So I think I'm with you completely here. This is a lock potential.
That was also shout out to Colby. That was high level touting, saying that I've never gotten an under wrong so far in the UFL. He's 100% right. He is batting 1,000 picking unders.
He's horrible on the overs.
No, come on. Don't bring those up.
We got a little hosed on 2 games, but you guys can tout. You guys got lucky.
Well, I mean, it's to me, it's not lucky predicting that these guys in this UFL league might fuck things up.
It's lucky that they occurred at the 2-yard line.
I got to take a limit play on this.
All right, so we're all on the under 43.5 and the Arlington Renegades catching 1.5. Discord, the first play, DC -1.5.
Good luck, guys. All right, 4 p.m. This is a better attempted. Like this is at least when the golf is ramping down. Why not do a nighttime doubleheader? Like we really should reach out to these people and help program these games at more opportune times. Memphis, the Showboats. We just got done talking about how they might be a little bit underrated. Oh wow. I just worth noting. Looking on the screen, the game has moved to Arlington 1. So I might have moved another. I'm moving numbers again, Sean.
Well, that's why you got to subscribe. YouTube.com/Sports Gambling Podcast. Get in here.
Memphis catching a full touchdown.
Way too much.
Yeah, full touchdown against the Birmingham Stallions. Plus 260 on the money line. Birmingham minus 325 on the way back. 41 is the total. I like this Memphis team. Very concerning how they, rules and bad calls aside, they still made some very bad decisions to allow what happened to happen. Everything you could have done to tighten up and play like just cowardice bitches. As if some people didn't have money on the under and a tremendous amount of money on the Memphis Showboats +2 with a little money line sprinkle. What did I say, Sean? Simple systems. I'm laying it with Birmingham until they lose. Have they lost yet?
No.
Yeah,
but
I should have taken that strategy with UConn. Would have been profitable last couple of years.
Ryan trying to make a case for Zach Edey. R.I.P.
I'll be curious to hear what you're saying about Memphis. Cause I do like Memphis as a team, but I want them to lose this game so I can get a juicy future next week. I'm laying it with Birmingham. I can't. I
like the experience of Case Kukas. I like Case Kukas as a dog. I like Case Kukas catching 7 points. I mean, Birmingham looked pretty good week 1, but week 2, I get there on the road in Michigan, but not certainly a hostile environment there in Ford Field with the 19 people in attendance. And Michigan's offense sucks pretty hard, and they were still hanging around in that game. And I think Birmingham's offense is going to struggle against this Showboats defense. You're looking at a Showboats defense that's only allowing 39 rush yards per game in those 2 games. So that's Birmingham's bread and butter, is to pound the rock. And I think they're going to be able to slow down Birmingham, make this a game. 7 points is way too many. So yeah, I like Memphis a lot here, catching the full 7. Maybe shop around, get you 7.5.
Oh, you think they're
some arbitrage betting?
Are they out there? You think?
I'm sure you can talk to a guy. Colby, what do you like here?
I'm on Birmingham.
Wow.
Look,
So
Michigan's got the best defense in the league, and they were able to like every time you heard Skip Holtz talk about it after the game, he was like, yeah, we couldn't score in the red zone. That was a big problem for us. If you actually look at the stats of that game, like I mean, to Michigan's credit, they only lost by 7, but like Birmingham definitely dominated the yardage and everything. So they're going to correct those things. And it starts with Memphis not being as good as a defense as Michigan, and they're at home. They're honoring Alex McGo. They're retiring his jersey number.
Yeah.
So
no, you're fucking with me.
Yeah, buddy.
What? They're retiring a guy's jersey?
Retired his jersey, Alex
long
McGo.
History.
Yeah.
Long history.
Why
Let's
is he
go.
not playing?
How many championships?
He's on the Packers.
How many championships does he have?
Two. Yeah.
Come on, you don't want to retire that guy's number. Sean?
So wait, there's like a Ring of Honor and stuff.
Ring of Honor, man. They're gonna be honoring it, and
so wait, like how when guys in the NFL, they have to pay like millions of dollars or $100,000 to like get the other guy's jersey. What do you have to like do to get the Alex McGo 12? Do you have to trade your Southwest Trail mix to the other guy? Like what strings do you have to pull to get them to let you play in a Stallions jersey rocking 12?
look,
they're honoring his jersey. Is he coming to the game?
Yeah, he's gonna be there. He's gonna be in attendance.
Oh, boy, this is emotional.
Why
are you gonna go against this?
Why are they not letting him play?
Because he's on the Packers.
Yeah, but come on, you can't play.
He's getting ready for that bullshit in Brazil.
I'm excited.
You would be. Let me tell you, buddy. Birmingham's offense is going to fuck them up. And
no way. What are you talking about? Memphis's defense is pretty solid.
It is pretty solid, but not against Skip Holtz's offense.
This is a different level competition.
Colby just loves Skip Holtz.
Well, and John DeFilippo is
to 12 points.
He's like Tony Meatball 2.0. We saw it last week. 13-0 at the 2-yard line. Let's kick the field goal.
Yeah,
what does that do for you?
The,
what the fuck does that do for you?
The conservative stuff is crazy. And he was in the league, Colby. DeFilippo is more than qualified. It is just
no. I think it's like Mike Leach told us. I think the NFL guys aren't used to adjusting. Like they don't. The high school and college coaches, to me, have a leg up on that because you have a different roster every year, so it puts you in way different predicaments. So I think like a lot of the NFL coaches, like Tony Beck, was he even a coach in the NFL? I'm not even sure, but
I'm not sure. Maybe a lineman coach.
Yeah, maybe a lineman coach, but I know that Jeff Fisher struggled at this shit too when he and Mike Nolan does too. It's to me like the NFL coaches are just used to like, hey, we coach defense. You know, when you have head coaching experience before, you know, maybe NFL or college or high school, that's your leg up, is you know what the hell to do. These guys that were position coaches don't. That's why Birmingham will cover this game.
Sean, are we going under on this one?
What is it? 41?
41. Colby, what do we think about the total?
I actually like over. I like over here.
Oh, perfect time to take an under.
I'll take the under. I think again, you guys are crazy. This is gonna be a 2017 game. All these games end up being ugly games where it ends up being
home
close.
Home opener in Birmingham.
Home opener.
Penetrobe Stadium.
31
over under 500 fans in attendance.
No, Birmingham does all right. Birmingham does all right.
What is all right?
I mean, thousands. I don't know.
28-8. 28-8 finals.
They do better than like Ford Field had 7,000. Allegedly, it didn't look like 7,000.
Oh, wow.
Birmingham.
You could hear a pin drop when that kid hit the 64.
Yeah. Well, that's what's so stupid. Let's talk about this for a second. This is. I mentioned this on my show, but it's like this is like 101. You ever been to like a club here in Hollywood and you see a big ass line, and then you wait in that big ass line, and then you go in and there's 4 people there, right? That's what they need to do. Play like sell your product some. When you put it at Ford Field and there's 12 people there, no one in the area, like the guy at the barbershop a block away, is like, I'm not going to go to that game. No, that doesn't look like a good time. If you play it at a small venue, it's like stand up, Sean. If we did a show at Madison Square Garden, we'd have 6 people show up and we'd film it. It looked like shit. But if we did it at the local dive up the street and we pack it, we film it, it looks great. And people say, hey, maybe I'll check that guy out.
Yeah. Or just
that's why I turned out Madison Square.
Or just do the UConn thing and hire some students from the area to come by and be fake fans.
It's just so stupid to me.
It's the same thing they do in Vegas. We see it all the time, Ryan. You know, you go to these
load them up.
You go to these swim clubs. They reach out to local talents. You know, working gals, get them there, hanging out, setting the vibe. It's good. It's good
place
for
referrals. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
But it just it helps the product so much.
Played at a high school stadium, but pack it
anything up. MLS. Like to me, it that then sells that. Hey, this might be a good time, and let me.
Honestly, the MLS stadiums would have been a much smarter idea. I mean, the field is big enough. You could have made it work, and just those you're right up. A lot of those stadiums, you're right up on the fucking field. So
you want a perfect example is I don't really like soccer, right?
No.
I was like 3 or 4 years ago, I was bartending, and someone offered me LAFC tickets like every week, and I randomly was watching one of the games. And I was like, man, this crowd actually looks lit. Like, let me go. It's small, but like, let me go enjoy this. I don't have any, I didn't place a bet on it. Didn't have anything, but I went and I had a good time because it was small and there was enough people there that it looked fun. So that's selling your product. You know what I mean? Like the USFL is so stupid. Let's take one of the biggest arenas, probably the biggest arena in Michigan, and let's play our games there with 6 people there. Stupid.
I may have moved Memphis or Birmingham to 7.5. Apologies.
I told you there's going to be some 7.5s out there.
Wait, is it 7.5 now?
No. I mean, the place that I have, I'm seeing it is. Yeah. Let's see. Say it's nothing's changed over at DK.
Right. I assume the other two games are on Sunday, competing with Masters Sunday. Right?
Yes, exactly.
Before we get to the Sunday games, shout out to Unified. Whether you're a world-class athlete or a world-class podcaster like me, we all understand the importance of mental and physical well-being. I mean, imagine you're on that Memphis Showboats team, heartbreaking loss. You need to get your mind right and your body right. So I'm excited. Unified Healing is sponsoring this episode of the UFL Picks podcast. Unified Healing is a new and super innovative global network of wellness centers powered by the Energy Enhancement System, or EE System. If you haven't heard of EE System yet, you'll want to listen up. This technology promotes wellness, deep relaxation, purification, and rejuvenation. Whether you're here in LA or hundreds of other locations across the globe, access to a center is easy and affordable. Interested in experiencing the EE System technology for yourself? Go to unifiedhealing.com/SGPN to learn more and find a center near you. UNIFYD healing.com/SGPN. No material or testimonials on the Unified Healing website are intended to be viewed as medical advice or a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition or treatment and before undertaking a new healthcare regimen, including EE System.
It is getting ridiculous how much money I'm putting on the UFL games. I love it. It's very electric. It's a great way to, I mean, you want to talk about the sweat next to the sweat. You get the Masters on. Maybe I might even go as far to wheel out an extra TV in the living room this Saturday. You know, like the family usually likes when I do that. Like, oh, what's going on here? I'm always the first one awake, so there's no one there to stop me. And then inevitably the wife wakes up, and
all hell breaks loose.
You just gotta put it away. That's the key. You don't want to leave stuff around. She doesn't like that. 9 a.m. a perfect timing. I mean, it's not this. This is actually probably before the Masters coverage. Maybe on the West Coast. What time do we think the Masters coverage?
That would
starts?
be noon, though.
It usually starts right. Yeah, you're probably right. It's already happening. What are they doing? Houston Roughnecks, Michigan Panthers, real dud here, real snooze fest. Two bad teams. Houston +1.5. Wait. All right, this one has changed. It has moved to Michigan -2.5. Man, these numbers are slippery. I pulled these less than an hour ago. Michigan -2.5, -150 on the money line, +125 on the way back. Yeah, a little bit of a move there. 38.5 is still the total. Houston has not been a very good football team. Michigan, to Colby's point, I don't know if I'd put them number 2. They
play really good defense.
They've played good ball.
Best special teams too.
They're going to be in every game, but this is a situation where you're laying points with the Michigan Panthers. In week 1 when we talk 6.5 point home dog, we like the Michigan Panthers. Catching 6.5 home dog. You two like the Panthers. I did not. They're
this
at home.
Is interesting.
Third
home
straight
game,
week. Yeah. Now they're favored. They're going from catching 6.5 to laying 2.5. That's a 9-point adjustment, Sean.
This is tough because I want to take the Roughnecks, but with the spread being 2.5 points, Michigan being at home, that kicker, how good he is.
It's a dome too, right? They're a weird team. They're built around their kicker. They're inside.
No,
it's
I'm
good
saying
conditions.
like I'm worried that if I take the Roughnecks, Michigan's gonna have like a last second field goal here, or again like a 13-9 type game.
Sean's scared of a kicker.
No, I just think with the spread this close, how do you fade this kicker that's that can kick 62, 64-yard kicks?
Michigan only. I'll give you one nugget.
And Michigan's defense is good.
Michigan is catching only 25% of the bets, but only 3% of the handle. No one's betting on Michigan.
No one believes in the Panthers. Colby, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'll take Michigan. I mean, I will say that Houston got better when Reed Senate came in. The backup, he's better than the other quarterback.
Reed to start this week?
Yeah. They just signed Kenji Bahar because what's his name's out for a couple weeks. But I think both. This is hilarious because you do have a matchup, Sean, with both coaches are the same. Like if it's a 4th and inches, this is a 100 punt. You punt it.
I mean,
yeah.
We finally got our first under 40 under total.
This is definitely an under.
I like when Mike Nolan was mic'd up with his kicker. It was 62 yards, which is like 2 or 3 yards, less than the one before. It's like, you want to kick it? He doesn't tell his kicker to kick. He asked the kicker if he wants to kick a field goal.
You want to kick it?
Yeah.
So we're comfortable laying points with Michigan.
Yeah.
I just think Michigan is, I think they're the second best team in this league. Like, I don't know why they threw 34 passes with EJ Perry. If they can get out of their own way and just run the ball or do some option read stuff with them, that defense.
I did hear some people saying, and may have been from the UFL Gambling Podcast or the UFL subreddit, those fascist pieces of shit. I did hear someone say, "Oh, EJ Perry, he can't get worse." I don't know if that's the case. I wouldn't be surprised if EJ Perry can get worse. And to Colby's point, limit the damage EJ Perry does. Run the ball.
He's athletic too.
Stuff. Yeah.
Like do some designed runs. Yeah. Like with here's the good news is this is still in the dome. So all those kick returns you're like literally 8 yards away from field goal range. Just don't throw too many passes. Their defense is going to create turnovers because it's the best defense in the league. I think they're like you can still go play action with him, but just don't throw 30. He's not fucking Dan Marino. You're throwing 34 times a game with him. What are you doing?
EJ Perry's wife, not dynamic, according to.
Whoa! Why are we dragging wives into it?
It's just the all-time great George Bush quote. Dan Marino and his dynamic wife.
I think Michigan. By the way, the under is a smash play here, but
38.5.
But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Like, I just think Michigan is like most of these teams are not complete. Like they're pretty damn close to complete. They can't throw the pass, but they're a solid run team. Just Birmingham's run defense is really good, right? You look at it against St. Louis, 5.1 yards a rush. They don't kill themselves too much, and that to me, half this thing is teams killing themselves. You know what I mean? So I like them to win the game. And what's up?
Well, I'm very torn on that.
Dan Marino and his really dynamic wife.
I am
amazing.
I'm torn because my immediate analysis was, well, this is a massive adjustment for Michigan. In any situation, it's going to be a low scoring game. I think I should just take Houston here. As you mentioned, Cole, I did think they looked pretty good against DC at DC in what we think will be one of the more hostile environments. And I mean, how many points what Michigan scored? What, 12 and 13 points? And so if they're going to score,
no, they scored more than 12. They scored, what is it? 18? Was it 18?
Yeah. Oh, you're right. 18.
Yeah.
They won 18. Yeah. 18 and 30.
But what has Houston scored, buddy? What has Houston scored?
No, I think it's going to be a shit
No,
fest.
I'm taking Michigan laying the 2.5 and the under 38. This is the first time I've taken a favorite.
Here's the thing, like Michigan,
the show.
Michigan's wideouts are actually good. They just need a quarterback to get them the ball. Like they're way improved. Last year's Michigan team didn't have those wideouts. You know, it didn't have this kicker.
No,
so,
the Panthers defense is, to Colby's point, I'm not as high on them. I don't have them as the second best team in the league, but I do think their defense is probably the best defense in the league. So I think that.
Well, their special teams is clearly their best special teams in the league too.
True.
Yeah.
I just think the offense is such a liability, but I think at home, third home game, sleeping in their own beds. Just kidding.
So here's my dilemma.
Let me get this straight though. 3 weeks in a row they've flown from the hub city
feels more
just
expensive.
to play a random ass game.
And what's hilarious is like what's it cost to rent an apartment in Detroit? Like 500, 600 bucks.
If I'm Michigan's head coach, I go, you know what? I got a Ramada in. I got a credit card. I'm gonna just keep the team here. I wouldn't you save the 3 flights?
You got your facility.
What, a kicking net?
Yeah. All right.
You can hit up Dick's, get a couple kicking tees. You're fine.
All right, I'll join you guys on Michigan because I'm not compelled in this game. I don't know if this is going to be a lock or any sort of.
Well, the under is certainly
the
a lock.
The lock
yeah,
here.
yeah.
I agree with that. Another number I've moved. Oh my goodness. All right, last one. Is this? Did I get this time right?
Noon.
Noon. So right when the right competing against the end of the Masters. That's genius. It's like they're not even trying.
Just do some late night games. It'd be fun.
Noon Pacific. Sunday Night Football. St. Louis Battlehawks. Kickoff. They're laying. Let me double check this up. It's now 2. Battlehawks -2 on the road here against the Brahmas, who have shown they play to win the game. Sean, -130 on the money line, +110 for the Brahmas coming back the other way. 42 is the total. This is disrespectful. What are we doing here?
This is the hardest game to pick.
All right, I get it. The Brahmas didn't play a great game for the whole game against Memphis, but at the end of the day, they came back. They got it done. The air raid expires eventually.
They had 8 yards at halftime, bro. Like they sucked that game.
But my takeaway is that was more about how good Memphis is,
but
and less about how bad the Brahmas are.
Well, this is why it's tricky. Is like I trust the Brahmas coaching more. Like they don't have as many blunders as St. Louis. That they actually do have a little bit of a crowd, and then you add in the fact like San Antonio probably really shouldn't have beat DC. I mean, it should have been like a 50-50 game. Like if you throw away that trick play for 60 yards or something, and then the interception by Tamu, like they were right there. Like that, they're a phony 2-0. I'll tell you that. That's why I think Arlington's better than them. But then you ask St. Louis. St. Louis is more talented, but they coach their way out of games.
Yeah, Tony Meatballs.
Yeah, I'll take San Antonio.
I don't like what I've seen out of St. Louis, and you saw St. Louis. Their one road game they lost as an outright favorite, laying 6.5 in Michigan. I think this is pretty easy. Brahmas here is the home dog.
You got to be out of your mind to fade Wade Phillips with Tony Meatballs.
Oh, come on,
dude! I think St. Louis is a way better team, like a way better roster. But
I don't think they're going to execute.
Yeah, they play pussy ball too, man. Like this was the hardest game for me to pick because I don't think San Antonio is any good, right? But I also
you don't think their defense is okay? I mean, they let up 12 points at home against DC and then 19 on the road in Memphis.
Well, I think DC actually, from a yardage standpoint, they got into scoring territory a bunch of times. They just shit the bed, but
a good red zone defense by the Brahmas.
They fucked someone up at home. The only example we have of them playing at home this season. They fucked someone up.
Yep. That was not a fuck up, dude. That was a close game.
Points late. Yeah. They took care of business. They have a home field. They both games they've closed well. They've closed both games well.
Memphis dominated the game way more than San Antonio did against DC.
Yeah, but even if we're talking about San Antonio losing last week, what the number would be bigger? So they're laying more points. Like either way, I'm still saying the same thing about this spot. San Antonio should not be catching points at home against this St. Louis Battlehawk team.
Actually, switch mine. Give me St. Louis.
Oh, whoa. Colby's in hot. You know what he is? He's jealous of my jacket. He sees how nice I look.
I just don't think St. Louis should be a road favorite.
They have a better roster though by a lot. It's just Tony Meatball.
Yeah, but he's going to be their coach this weekend.
What was Wade Phillips known as? A player's coach. He maximized the talent on his team by just getting everyone to be together. Wade's goofy.
I don't know if that's accurate.
St. Louis does have good receivers, but I think
give me the Brahmas.
I think Brahmas hang around. I actually do like the over in this game though, 42. First over. Ryan?
Oh, I do like the over. I do like the over.
Oh, maybe not. Colby or Kramer?
Well,
so wait, Colby, you're on the over in the Showboats Stallions and then this game as well, right?
Yes, 2 overs, 2 unders.
Colby, for the record keepers at home, Colby is 1-5 when he selects the over. Sorry, 1-4, 1-4.
But if you believe in the right side of stuff, 3-2.
Got it. Okay, so If Colby's
even if everything broke my correct way, it's still 60%.
No, like the other two had no business losing.
No.
I think what I've seen in the UFL is that we're dangerously close to all the unders hitting.
Ryan, if my record's 7-1 on totals, if everything broke
Why would
right,
we stop?
I'd be 8-0.
Why
No,
would we?
you'd be 5-3.
Sean, why would we stop taking
right
unders?
for me.
You had
Why
no
would we
business
stop
hitting two of those unders,
mean?
and you know it.
What do you mean?
You know it.
Missed field goal. Come
Three
on.
red zone turnovers and a missed field goal. All you needed was one fucking point.
This is if you like red zone turnovers, that's why you watch the UFL. If you like missed field goals,
It's okay. Long season, buddy. Long fucking season, buddy.
Colby takes it like it's an insult if you're saying these guys mess up in the red zone.
Yeah, I mean,
It's just that was the wrong side. You hit on the wrong side. You hit on the wrong side.
Is White Tiger on the Brahmas? It feels like it's personal here.
White Tiger doesn't watch dome football.
Oh, then how does he sit through a UFL Saturday and Sunday?
He doesn't watch those games. He watches
Masters.
the Liberty Bowl. He watches ECU baseball.
Liberty Bowl.
This
right?
is unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right. So the only side
I am an East Carolina fan.
I did not. I put in limit bets on all 4 unders.
Okay.
I put limit bet in on Arlington, Birmingham, and San Antonio. I Michigan, Houston. I'm gonna have to think about that one. I can't get there yet. You want to talk about the futures before we do our best bets?
Sure.
Well, Birmingham down to +190. So hopefully you grabbed a little 3-1 when we did our week 1 preview. Battlehawks +425. Completely disagree with them being the second favorite. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Brahmas +450. I will agree with Colby. They're probably a little inflated right now. DC, especially because we expect them to tail off with the way the air raid generally gets adapted to. DC +550. No, thank you. Memphis +750. Let's wait one more week and then buy some of them. Michigan 10-1. Sounds like Colby loves this price. Arlington also 10-1. I like that price. Houston 22-1. That's hilarious.
I mean, you have to take. I think you have to take a small piece of Houston at 22-1. Even though I like Michigan to get this win, it's only a 2.5 point spread. I mean, just game theory wise, for them to win this game isn't crazy. And then they're 0-2, but they're barely out of the playoffs. I mean, that second spot in the USFL. All right, Stallions probably going to lock up the 1 seed, but
just
between those 3 other seeds, the Panthers are 1-1, the Showboats are 1-1, the Roughnecks are 0-2. Like, yeah, I like the Showboats,
Sean,
but
they wouldn't play the Stallions. They'd play the other conference in the first round of the playoffs.
yeah.
Wait, is that still
true?
a thing? I don't think it's a thing this year. I think,
I
yeah.
think you play the 1 plays the 2.
Oh,
yeah.
But again, at 22-1,
that makes me hate like
at 22-1. Put it this way: at 22-1, they still have a pretty decent chance of getting into the playoffs, and then from there, you only need to win 2 games against other spring football teams.
So you have Houston is at 22.
No team in any 8-team league after week 2 should be 22.
Listen to the division. So Birmingham +190. Then you have Michigan 10-1. Then you have Memphis +750. They might go down if they lose to Birmingham this week. And then you have Houston +22-1. One of the teams, Michigan, Memphis, or Houston, has to make it.
Yeah.
750, 10-1, 22-1 right now. We do every year this happens.
And the Renegades, I do like the game.
That's the one. That's the one that spoke out to me.
Yeah, I like that. I guess at 10-1, but again, the fact that you're getting Houston's 22-1, they're both 0-2.
Do you think Arlington's is live on the money line this week?
Yeah. What?
Yeah, it's 1.5 point spread.
Yes.
Well, then you have to take this. You have to take this future because you're never going to get the price where they're winless and they're at the bottom of the division again.
Yeah, I got Brahmas and Stallions. Toss me a small slice of the Roughnecks at 22-1.
No, Arlington's the one that made a lot of sense to me. I mean, we already have a future on Memphis from before, but
so we all have Memphis at 8-1. We all have Birmingham at 3-1.
No, I don't have Memphis. I just have Birmingham and
San Antonio. And Colby and I have Memphis and Birmingham. I would say
so you have 3 of the 8 teams.
Well, San Antonio, they're good prices. I think to your point, we have to add. All right, I'm gonna write this down. We have to document. I think what we do is we add. I think we have to add Houston, right?
Arlington.
Yeah.
Arlington.
If Houston loses, their price could get even bigger.
Mm.
Arlington. You know what? I'm with Colby. Just Arlington. Arlington 10-1.
Just Arlington.
I mean,
Just Arlington this week.
I do like
Michigan is 10-1 also. Michigan or Houston has to win. One's 10-1, one's 22-1. That means someone's price is getting worse. I'll gamble and see who's getting worse. Maybe.
Yeah, I'll take Houston, and then if Michigan ends up, yeah, I guess you should take Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah. What, Michigan's 10-1?
Well, no, because what
The problem is like I like Michigan. I think they're like I said, I power rank them second best, but there's no way they're going to beat Birmingham. You know what I mean?
I don't know about that. One game, winner take all.
I'm with you. I'm with Colby. That's why I want to wait.
I mean, they were driving to tie that game up.
But that's with Birmingham squandering every red zone opportunity. I don't know that that's consistent.
Well, sure, nothing's consistent. That's why.
No, something is consistent, Sean. Is Birmingham wins the championship every fucking year.
It's true.
Sound like Alex McGoo over there.
Should I get you a bobblehead for him?
All right,
I'll crush it.
I think you were right the first time, Sean. Houston,
I'll just go.
I think Houston's the right side.
Yeah, Houston 22-1.
Because you're taking Michigan on the side, so it's a little bit of a. We won't call it a hedge, but it also operates as that.
Kramer, what do you got? Lock and dog for UFL Picks Week 3.
I do. I think the lock. I think we have to go. This was tricky because last week I messed this up a little bit. Give me Birmingham -7. Lock, dog, Arlington, small one. Just this Tamu guy on the road favored. Come on.
Yeah. That's
and like I said, I also went heavy on the Brahmas. So it doesn't quite fit, but yeah.
Yeah, to me, I'll take Arlington +1.5 as my lock for my dog. Toot toot. You hear that? That's Showboat country. They show out. They get the win. They shock the Stallions. Give me Memphis +260 on the money line. Toot toot.
Toot toot.
Colby.
Let's lock up. Well, I guess I only took one dog, huh?
It's like that R. Kelly song.
Let's
toot, toot.
let's lock up.
Pissing on women.
Let's lock up Birmingham -7.
That is a disgusting act.
Yeah, nice job, Colby.
The
Great
dog
job.
is Arlington.
Let's see if I can get down more.
Get a little sweater for that tiny dog.
Oh wow, Colby, great picks.
Great
Thank you, buddy.
Great times. Discord is on Houston and DC.
Oh,
Those
wow.
were the only two consensus plays with Colby. Last minute switch on the St. Louis Battlehawks. Hey, check out the UFL Gambling Podcast. If you want to go even more in depth, you want to hear Colby do battle with the UFL subreddit about his power rankings.
Yeah.
Colby, how did you not lock up Michigan Panthers with them being the second best team in the league at home?
Because they play so conservatively that there'll be a shot for the other team. Like right. It's almost like taking like the Jets when they had Rex Ryan. You know what I mean? Like, you know that their team is they went to the 2 AFC championships back to back, and it doesn't matter who they're playing with Sanchez at quarterback. You knew that it was going to be, every game could be a field goal game. You could be taking on the 1-15 Lions, and you're stuck at a 13-10 game with 5 minutes left. So when you have defensive teams like that, one play, you live on the edge, you're bound to get beat one of these games, so that's why it's not luck.
Living on the
quick
edge.
Update. Actually was able to, just to test out the waters. Cause I noticed the Birmingham line came back to 7. I was seeing if I could place another limit wager, which old limit, not actually the limit, was able to put in a second one. So officially have 4 figures on the UFL again.
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right.
I'm telling you, it's the only way to live.
SportsGamblingPodcast.com/masters. Get in there for your free chance to win that sick ass putter.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
Seamen, the Milano Seamen.
Kramer, let it ride.